Hey guys, here, I don't want to waste your time talking to you or like this or explain it. I'll explain it while I talk about it. So I want to blow your mind. I want to get this out. I've been feeling kind of anxious and wondering why in the hell ain't nobody enjoying this? Why isn't this like the coolest shit on earth? But this information behind you, I've never really, I didn't find, I just created it. But this is what I in the Bible have been wanting to say to you in a real simple kind of way that kind of looks kind of crazy. But if I could explain it to you as I point it out and talk to you, which it kind of might take the crazy out of it because there's wonderful symmetry in this, if anything, and it's brilliant. And I'm not taking the credit for it. I'm just reading what I see in the Bible. You know, this is, and I'm an artist, and I see these things. This is what I'm doing this for. So if you don't have to have a whole lot of smarts or nothing like that. Just hang out, watch me go through this. All right, but you may not see my face for a little while because I just want to look at this thing, and I'll tell you the stories as I go. You know, all right. We'll play by ear. It's not like I've had practice with this. You know, it's just getting kind of boring. It's always such bad news, bad news, bad news. It seems like, and it just doesn't seem to add up because the outside world, if you're not having a bad time, then it ain't bad. Um, that this information means nothing to you. You know. Anyways, we're talking about the way the number four works, and in on my channel here, we use the number four, as a way of being able to unlock the secrets of the Bible, to unlock how the very bone of the Bible, which is bone means spirit. Um, the four down here, the number four, how does that fit into all these things? And it's just, we got the number seven and all these wonderful other numbers, all nine, all these numbers are really great. But the number four, this is how we read the Bible from beginning to the end in one rhythm, one right after another, after another, after another, in this format of four. And that means like the first four, lines of the scripture, and then four, and then 5, 6, 7, and 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, and just keep on going down the road. And they'll all have to fall into a line that means something for the earth side, something for the water side, something for the air side, and something for the fire side. And so, well, how do you get all of that? Well, all of these are all connected, these four, and there's always a sequence, and they can't fall in any other way. So that's part of the code. That's part of the. If it didn't do this, this would be too hard to understand. It would be like, oh my God, how did that happen? I would never be able to see it, and no one would be able to see it. But because I pride my experience with this as being seamless, not that I'm seamless, but it is. All right. I've discovered this, and I'm teaching you this, and this is one of the teaching aids, and I just scratch them off when I'm done. But they're on these computer things, so maybe something will be saved. But as we talk about stuff, all right, let me show you how this four works in our Bible. All right, all right. But most of anything, it's about direction. East, north, south, west, and all that crap. It's about traveling. That's what four is. 40 days, 40 nights. It's the movement of something. And that's usually, a good traipsing of something before you finally get to the end of time. And that's what the Bible is talking about. All right. But that's how do you go about getting to the end of times? You know, what do you mean? You got to do this on your own, or you're trying to hasten the quickening, you know? Yes, once you've done your time, this side of the Bible opens up for you. You know, I may just be one of the only people that can teach it down to such a such a brain dead level that anyone can understand it. You know, but I've got 5 people that I believe in this, believe in God, just like I do, and believe in this Jesus information like I do and stuff like that. Because there can't be any other thing else. There cannot be any other explanation. There can't be any another way of this. No, it has to be like this, you know. And we find this in all religions, all these ancient religions. I find this in all. I got lots of things down there, lots of videos. All right. Some things I know real good and some things I've stumbled on, but it was still following this business. Like, the Achilles heel. I was, after doing some studying on this here, what the Achilles heel? And I looked it up, and there's a statue of this guy, and he's got an arrow in his hand, and it's hitting him down there by the heel, right? And in the process of that, this means like this is how Apollo, which is a messenger, because he's flying. Apollo is a flight, so it's one of the messengers of God. It'd be like Jesus. He's a messenger. And so, or our soul becomes our messenger between us and God. So it's messenger. So here's Apollo, and Achilles is in some kind of battle, or doesn't want a battle, or whatever his problem was at that time. But when it did come down to it, an arrow was shot at him, and Apollo steered it towards his weakness. And what that does is, what we find out is that what connects the heel to the calf. I mean, and it's true. I mean, it's But if the way the Bible talks about it is that you're like the mule, and the calf is you. You're the lamb. This beautiful little thing on the inside would be the comparison. And what's really neat is that whenever Achilles was dead, there was going to be a kind of like a fight or something over his armor, which would be what is left over, right? And it gets awarded to his son. Isn't that beautiful? I mean, it's the same thing, because it's the son that's going to inherit all this. You inherit the whole thing. The father actually winds up being the winner in the whole thing as he gets connected to mom. It's just beautiful. And they're the same. So I'm showing you some Greek myth. It's actually the same stories that we're talking about. Just, different names, different people, but it's the same. It's the same. It's the same this, for sure. It's exactly what we're doing here. All right. So give me a second so I don't have to take up all your time. But this up here, this big round thing up in the top there, that's the 24-hour clock. I've tried to teach this a mess of times, but it has 12 noon up in here, and he's got midnight down here. Midnight, right? That's where a lot of these things in the Bible start to take place, about midnight. This is down here between Sagittarius and Capricorn. When the sun slips into this spot, it dies right there there's a Southern Cross right in there. So that's where it goes to sleep. And then it's born after 3 days and 3 nights being in there. It's reborn here. Now, we don't celebrate we celebrate his birth here. His death has to come first. The whole thing is that it has to be born out of a virgin mind as it goes into Libra. But anyways, let's not go into that business. You've heard me do that before. But what I wanted to point out to you is that this is the day and this is the night down below. This is the valley of the shadow of death. All right. That's what this part is. And this is the throne room. This is the skull, really. The throne. This is where the 4 and 20 are. The 4 just happen to be the 4 of the face like a man, like a bull or an ox, and we got the lion over here. We got Scorpio. Scorpio again would be like the eagle. That's what it's supposed to be, because they're the same thing. The eagle is about flight. All right, and that eagle's going to show up right here in our earth, water, air, and fire. Water is this idea that water is mother. Water has to do with this side of the boat, to sea, whereas father represents land and earth. All right. So it's all about that. It's mother and father. That's the electronics of the brain. So you get a negative and a positive, right? And that's what you get down here too, with the Pisces. And if I could kind of help blow your mind a little bit, on the body, we're from Aries to Pisces. Our Pisces are represented by our feet. And the feet's about direction. And, and we also, because we had to go one way for a while, and then we have to go another way. But for a good long time, we got to go ways. And it's our feet that's making this happen. But it's the legs that are taking it from us. All right? It's that fourth kingdom that comes about. And in Nebuchadnezzar's dream here, he dreams of a statue. And the statue has a head of gold and a torso of silver, a waist and thigh of brass. He has legs of iron and the feet mixed with clay and iron. It makes it sound like there's 5 kingdoms. I'd have to have another circle here, and that would screw everything up. But as we've learned in our Bible, is that this lower kingdom, this one down here, this legs and feet, this here represents our spiritual side of us. And so that would be, religion, all right? And in our religion, she's the trespass. She's what all our trespasses are about, what we stand on. And it's our feet. Our legs. That's what it is. So our legs is this fourth kingdom that, because they don't talk about in Nebuchadnezzar, it's not translated with anything to do with 5. It is a continuation from 4. It says here that this legs will break every one of the other kingdoms before it, shatter them, and for a time. And the feet down here, finally, which means in the end of days, it gets hit by a little rock. And this rock shatters all the ones before it. Fell apart. This is what he's dreaming. He's freaked out. This is Nebuchadnezzar's dream. So, and what happened was that little rock, and this is in Daniel's 2:34 appears, but that little rock, the image fell like chaff on the threshing floor. The rock became a mountain, and it filled the whole earth. That's beautiful. That's what you want. When you get mom is this mountain that comes in and takes over this place. This is Israel. This is coming in for a landing. And when she does, it fills the entire earth with her. This is this copious amount. It's about light. It's about flooding water, because this is her. She's in this spot. It's just so beautiful. So I never really tell the end of that story, that it's all broken down by just a little stone when it hits it down there in the foot. And so this should also make you think about, what's this guy's names that we've had before? Esau and Jacob, right? Jacob comes on holding on to the foot or the heel of Esau. And in the stories, and I've interpreted it as Esau is who you have to be first. And Esau, doesn't it sound like a donkey? Or whatever, it sounds like that. But anyways, you have to be Esau first. And talking about his heel. He was holding on to his heel. He who comes second is Jacob. And so it's Jacob. Jacob winds up being in the situations, what happens to you after you come over to the other side. So you have to be one side first, which is the business of being dirty and all this, and unclean. And then the other side of you gets to go off and collect all the riches, and take your stuff too, take you with him, and then unbeknownst to you, he comes back here, he gives it all back to you. And you are enriched, and increased by God, and forgiven of all your sins. That's the way it works. Truly, because now you have got mother with you, and an alive seed has grown, and it keeps growing and growing and growing and growing inside. As soon as you get him going, You know, it's a seed. It's got to be a seed first. I know that. I know this. And I know that, you know, if Moses was real, well, not Moses, Noah, he'd say, you know, I had to plant, I had to plant this first from the ground. And it took a long time to grow. And even when it grew that first year, it did not put out any fruit. And then again, another year would show up and it did not put out more fruit. And another year would show up and it did not put out any fruit. I'm thinking my damn thing's going to do it again. So you can see that in real life that some things have to go for some time before fruit will show up. And, you know, until then, there's no eating from the vine. You know, it's more of these stories, you know. Oh, we can write our own Bible now, you know, as long as it follows these rules. You know? So Achilles' heel is really cool. When I put it to that same story, we find out that it connects the heel to the calf. Didn't we say that? The idea that connects muscle to bone. Pointing at the same place, the same heel connects the muscle to the bone. That's the idea that you got Israel is Isis, the spirit, Isis, the spirit, and connecting her to bone. I mean, she's bone, connecting her to flesh, which is Ra, is Ra. And when you do that, zing, you know, you've got a balanced mind. Everything is just beautiful. You know, this rock comes and fills the earth, you know, but in other ways, the story is that, you know, along with Jesus comes to set fire to earth. And this is earth. And fire is delta. Over here, you'll see fire at the end here in the east. All of these are in the sync. They're all the same. They all match wherever you go, wherever you look. It's about frequency, coming from a lower frequency to a higher frequency, cleaning the mind and rebooting the mind. And it's only one time. It's only one time. It's to make straight the way of the Lord. Because what you're doing when you're on the Word, when you're watching or listening to the Word, and you're waiting for Jesus to come to you and stuff like that, you're coming to the edge of the water and going back. Coming to the edge and coming back. It's going to the sixth chakra and not going over. Never getting over. That's where the vine zip is cut from there. So you have to learn how to cut off from that lower side. The lower side. You have to figure out how to cut that mind off. You know, you have to shut Father off to get it to come to life. But as we talk about this is a 24-hour clock up here, the 4 and 20. This is what we have here. Those are the 4 fixed signs. That's when things are going good. But those 4 beasts, those are the guys that get to rule over you first. All right. The head gets to rule over first, which is, you know, serving yourself in some way, serving a king, serving something. All right. The server that after that is silver. The silver for us this is where we have our power. This is where we get our power from. Is this part of our hands and our arms and our chakra system and our heart. All the most valuable things is right in here. This is the power of it all. That's what this is, the torso, the silver. And we are in the first parts of our lives, we are tossing the silver into the street. We should be maintaining it and handing it up to God. That's what he wants. He wants you to come from the inside, hand it up to me from here, from the inside out. All right. The waste, this is the brass. This is why everything is made of brass when you first hear about it. All these things that are down on earth are made of brass. You know, the brass thing here and the brass this and the brass that. It has to do with an outside situation. And brass is also religion. We're being ruled by the lower part of us. That's why they try to circumcise their penis and think that this will help them. You know, They can't even stop queers from having love and stuff like that, you know, because they just can't help but feed from the lower, you know. It's some kind of God-given, like, instinct, you know, and when you're not supposed to do it, you know, some people want to do it, you know. I'm not saying that I was drawn to it because I'm deviant, you know, but, you know. But anyways, So what will happen is let's see here, we have the brain frequencies coming in beta, alpha, theta, delta. That's real science to go along with the pseudoscience. But what it is also accumulation or a distribution. This idea of going from, the rainbow business. Where do I have it on here anywhere? I thought I did. But anyways, this is going from red, orange, yellow. Yeah, here we go. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. This down here with the lower frequencies is physical. Physical. This is, Father. This is what we're talking about. Earth, or mind, matter. All right. And we combine it with ethereal, something that's not physical from the top. The violet part of this. That's what we're looking for. And those two got to come together, and then, you got the power of God now. All right. And this is what a lot of people think they do. They already have this. This is something you got to go and do this yourself. This is your inside wiring. This is what this is about, So let's see here, as we keep on going, the four kingdoms that have their control over us, the legs, those legs, it controls us the most, and that's going to be religion, and it's going to kick our ass. It's going to do this and do that, and it's going to shatter all the other gods. It's going to take away your ability to use your kundalini, which is going to kill your child within inside your soul. And it's going to take away God too. It's going to take, so this down here, these legs, the iron, the less of everything, takes over the most of everything until one day it stubs its toe on a little rock, or it was hung, someone threw a rock at it, and it wasn't done by a man. No, it was begotten. It wasn't made, it was begotten. It was from the thoughts. We're going to take the guy down, That's what this is. That's why this is this eagle. This eagle is a Scorpio. A scorpion. This is that idea, that backbiting, and the betraying of the flesh. And it's opposite on the zodiac scale from Taurus, the other fixed sign. Taurus is Taurus's father. Taurus is the first witness, and because we betrayed the flesh, that's the first witness is going to go, and then later on, this Aquarius is man, itself. This is how it works. Taurus, Eagle, Aquarius, and Leo. Taurus is the man himself. The eagle is going to be also sacrificed. In the story, it reads like this. All right, I don't have the end of time story part, but this is when it's all fixed like this. This is a good run of symbolism. All right, because these are all of the 4 and 20. The elders, and those elders in the Bible are the ones that are supposed to keep watch over us. They're supposed to watch over us. And the 20 is the 20 and the 4, so it'd be 24 elders. 4 of the fixed signs in all of those guys' group. All right, like the tribes of Israel. All right, the same things. All right. Down here is the shadow of death. This is also this is the valley of death. This is where all the stories in Egypt come from. That is about going into the netherworld. This is the netherworld. It's what's inside of us. I call it the myths. This whole thing is called the myths. What's inside of us. All of this is inside of us. All right. Let's see what else we have. Oh, here's your end of times. In the end of times, and surely there's something that this has to happen, The sun goes dark and the moon stops shining her light, or goes into sackcloth or something like that, or even turns red. All right, all of those are the same thing, because the moon, which is what comes between us and the sun, Earth and the sun. What comes between us and the Earth and the sun? What comes between Earth, you, and the sun in the sky, and save yourself from thinking that you're sun worshiping. All right. This is symbolism. All right. All right. So, anyways, what comes between you and the sun in the sky? The moon. The moon. All right. So something wants to be an arbiter. Someone wants to be between us. And that's what they're trying to sell us. Who's coming between us? Religion's coming between us. The very same damn Bible. The Bible that we've been told to do. So ain't no outside force doing this. This is God doing this. He's playing both sides of the fence. So give me a break. All right. Smarten up some. That's what this is about. All right. And let me tell you, when you learn this, it's the coolest shit on earth. All right. So in the stories, the sun goes dark. And what that means is the mind, because that's what this is. The earth is our lower mind. When you go into meditation and put it to sleep, when you break bread, and you've let that child loose, whenever you do that, the mind has to be shut down, shut off. So, it's got to be, so it goes dark. The sun goes dark. The moon turns red. Red has to do with the Holy Ghost, because she's coming in. Mom's coming home. She ain't going to have no more of that whore around. And the third one, the stars in heaven, which is this right here. They fall from heaven to earth, which is our mind, to the lower mind, to the mind, to the carnal mind. This takes care of that separation. That's no longer up in the sky, you guys. No, for you, you got crowned. That's what that is. All right. And there'll be shakings in heaven when that happens. Because, I told you, and we've realized that these ideas have to do with using the pineal gland in our brain. We did talk about, I hope we did talk about some of these interesting things. Golgotha, the place of the skull. This is just the same thing here, the sign right here. A lot of us teachers use that. It's the sun's path through the different zodiac signs. It's how the zodiac signs are even found. The sun has to burn through them. And there's thousands or hundreds of different ones, but these are the only ones that the sun goes through. And it doesn't change its path. We have Cancer up here at the highest part, the highest way the sun. That's why it's the Cancer. That's why it's a crab. It can go in and go left and right. Okay, and in spiritualism, that's the sixth chakra. This is where a lot of people, when they die, like all of a sudden, and they find themselves going towards some kind of a lighted path or something like that, or they're being grabbed down by God, by something. All of these things are about this being stuck here, right at the sixth chakra. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right in the head. It's all in your mind, or thereabouts. And where you get asked, are you sure you want to go anyways with this here? I don't think you're ready. I don't think you're finished. You still have work to do. You still have more things to do. That's really how all these guys come back. They hear that they got more to do, or something happens, but they haven't finished their works. They're not allowed over into heaven, and this is not how you're going to get there. You have to do it by meditation. You just can't be just wiped off the side of the road by riding your bicycle as some fool, So anyways, this is something that has to happen. So that's why you wake right back up in the morgue or something like that. You dawdled on your way back here. Is what happened. So anyways, it's the right side of the brain and the left side of the brains. Toss your nets over to the right side. Land dry. Ugh, without mother, it's dry. It's awful. It can't do anything. It's falling around the bitch. It's having a terrible time. In that situation, we have over in our spiritual side, which is this side here, we have the Ur of Chaldees of all things, which means robbers and thieves. And robbers and thieves wind up being mother and father all along, which is why those motherfuckers have got to be taken out. And what happens to them in the Jesus story? What happens to the two witnesses that are up there beside him? The two eyes between him in the middle, the center, the single eye. You know the symbolism behind that, right? Well, anyways, Jesus is the single eye. It's also the seed of the soul. That's how you know that your soul represents Jesus, who we sent on this mission as Father. It says even the word is of the Father, you know. So you have to follow what that does. You know, the Father has to follow the word. But Father also sent this kid on his mission to go up there and take care of things. And when he takes up care of things, I will be knocked out. Me and my carcass will be laying down, and this eagle will come and find me. That's just the second one. My carcass will fall dead. The eagle will come and find me, you know. And my body is going to be purified, or at least my mind. Whatever is representing anything that has to do with evil is gone. And that's when somebody beautiful shows up and occupies that side, that beautiful mountain that grows and fills the entire earth. All right, so that's a good sign. It's a how they take such things so negative. You know, how does the opposites just absolutely, you know, engulf this Bible and its believers and opposites? All right, absolutely wild. So, anyways, I hope you liked this. I hope I was out of this way. Oh, Noah's Ark of all places and all things. It talks about the beta, alpha, theta, delta, and it uses water to do that. Uses mother. You know, everything is governed by our heart, right? Our emotions. That's what falls there. Intellect is our mind. Emotions, it's our heart. The physical side of us are known as stars. Did you know that you're the Star of David? Did you know that born in the city of David? City means the outside. So it's whatever's on the outside. The physical side of us it's the city or a nation. It's brethren, you know? It's the star. You're the star of the whole damn Bible. You're Jesus. It's absolutely wild. And you have to have trust in yourself, and in that last little statement that I just said. If you have any qualms with that, you may not ever be able to let back be in there, but you know, give it a try anyways. I know it's a hard set of shoes to fit into the way the Bible has it, but I'll tell you, we make him out to be a lot better than we really are. But he represents you and me. And doing right most all your times. But knowing that you didn't, which, you know, and until you got mom, it doesn't matter. You're still a sinner to God because God isn't with you. You're just one little devil, you know, just one little devil all by yourself, you know, with a little baby rattling around inside you. It's a shame. But once you plant that child, once you can learn if you can understand this, if you could just understand this would like take you just that closer to God, you know, just to be able to understand this, for being you're softening up that heart, which is otherwise hardened by God, you know, so that you can't understand this, you know. I'm hoping that you can understand. Our Bible has the Noah's Ark being made. While it's resting on earth, you have to make this at 2 floors above that and a window. Those are only 4. It's the same thing. The idea, and they let out a bird. And when the bird comes back, everything's beautiful. And it comes rest on top of the mountain. And he gets out, you know, pitches a tent is what it is. He pitches a tent, and that means he goes into meditation. But the whole thing's about meditation. But when he finally, you know, in this story here, he's found at the top of a mountain. naked and drunk off the new wine. Damn, that goes by pretty quick. And he made that himself. He was a husbandsman. He was doing the same thing. And I did the same thing, because these stories make you, whenever I went through this situation, I planted me a vineyard too, berries and all kinds of stuff. Earth, first floor, second floor, and the window. The window, that's Gog or Magog. This is the north is the mind. This idea that it's going to come from the northern side of us. That's Gog and Magog, and that means open or closed. It's about a ceiling. It's what it means. And in some of our stories, they've had to open the ceiling in order to lower somebody into something to see Jesus. So they've come through the ceiling or something. But these are all, there's so many different wonderful symbolisms for different words, that it's the coolest thing on earth, This idea that when the dream, in the dream, when the rock came and smited this thing in the toe, that the entire thing scattered like chaff in the wind on a mill floor. On, what do they call it? On the threshing floor, which is the idea of separating the good from the bad. I mean, and people can't believe that all of these stories, they're all saying the same thing. They're all relaying the same beautiful information. There's just so many different stories, Something has to keep you dead. And this is probably the bestseller, and it is, best story ever told and all that stuff, But they can only show you what they can see. All right. I'm showing you what you can't see. And it's so beautiful. It's wild. All right. So anyways, the 24-hour clock, la-di-da, setting, the darkness, the winter. Remember, this is where we are on the great scale of things, or the great, what do they call it, the great year. Remember, that's how we know that we're going into like a mini ice age of some kind, because we're right in the middle. We're right in the middle of, not in the middle. We just started out. We just got going into Aquarius. So we got a long time of going through the middle of winter. And then when we pop out, we're going to be over here in Capricorn. It's not going to be much better, but it'll be at least warmer. All right. Maybe the word would be less cold. All right. All right. Well, I don't know what I talked about. Don't know what I missed. I'm hoping to blow your mind. This is the coolest shit on earth, you guys. Remember I was talking about that sixth chakra, where that's the end of the road right here? That's where a lot of people get stuck. Cancer. That's why that crab goes left and right. I know I said that, right? Okay. Because you're either going to go forward from here, which is going to take you right in to the Lord's Day and Leo and wow, down here, the east. When you finally make it over to the side over here, bow, 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 the trumpet sounds, and you be given some white garments. Where's the colors at? Oh, yeah, you'll be given some white garments. All right. So you think about that idea of the body part, the third thing about the bruising of the heel, and the stories about how you had to do this first and you come to this. Achilles heel, connecting the heel to the bone. That's cool stuff on earth, you guys. Absolutely the coolest stuff. Hope you chime in. Let me know what you think. Happy Easter.